Assalamualaikum and good morning to all my fellow classmates and also my lecturer. Today our group will present about historical geology and stratigraphy of Peninsula Semporna, Sabah. Okay, before we start our presentation, I'm going to introduce my group members. First, Nur Izani Elisa binti Nafsin. Next, Nurfa Erdina binti Masud. And then Muhammad Faris Iqmal bin Poniron. And last, me, which is Nur Syahira binti Bakar. Okay, contents of our presentation today is including introduction, historical geology, stratigraphy, geological resources, and also conclusion. Okay, hello, my name is Nur Syahira, and now I'm going to talk about our introduction. Semporna Peninsula Sabah consists of three areas, which is Punak, Tawau, and also Semporna. The latitude and longitude for this location is 4 degree 32 minutes 21.32 second north and 118 degree 0 minute 53.88 second east. Peninsula Semporna is categorized into three morphotectonic units, which is Mesozoic oceanic crust, Middle Miocene volcanic arc, and also Pleistocene volcanic arc. The Proto-South China Sea is subducted southward beneath the northern Borneo between the Eocene and early Miocene. This caused a collision between the North Borneo and also continental coast of South China during the early Miocene. By the end of early Miocene, northern Borneo had begun to emerge while most of the west and east Borneo were still submerged below the sea level. After the Celebes Sea subducted northward, the volcanic arc in South Sabah formed. Subduction began with the back basins of Sulu Sea, following by the slab rollback to the southeast. And then during the late Pliocene, the arc activity is stopped. I think that's all from me. Now we are going to proceed to the historical geology.
Assalamualaikum and very good day. My name is Faris and today I will present about the historical geology of Semporna Peninsula. Okay, first let's look at the age of our place, which is Semporna Peninsula. The age is said to be early Miocene to Pliocene, and this is because of several factors. First, around the peninsula, pyroclastic deposits can be found, and it is said that pyroclastic deposit here is around early to middle Miocene of age. Next, it is suggested that igneous activity still occurs during late Miocene to Quaternary. This shows that during these times the area is still active. And last but not least, the andesitic basaltic rock and their products that can be found here is mainly of Pliocene age, more specifically late Pliocene age. Next, we look at the structures that we can find at Semporna Peninsula. There are a lot of structures, but I will only choose two. So the first structure is columnar basalt at Balung River, Tawau. As we can see in the first picture, we can see how the columnar basalt form around the river bank. The exposed part of the structure is said to be around 55 cm to 85 cm of perimeter with undetermined depth below the surface. This is because to get how big the columnar basalt really is, we have to dig below the surface. Dig deep below the surface. Seeing that these columnar basalt are around a river, water might play a role in the formation of the structure. This columnar basalt is said to be around Quaternary age when the volcanic eruption that produced the magma that later formed this columnar basalt erupted. So next one is also a columnar rock, but it is a columnar dacite. As we can see, this one didn't form near body of water, but rather on dry land partially covered in vegetation. The photo was retrieved from a paper on this matter from Elvin James et al. And this photo was taken on an area near Tawau town. This structure consists of two joining faces, which are colonnade and entablature. Colonnade have regular columns and near planar side, while entablature have thinner and less regular column with curving side. The difference between columnar basalt and this columnade side is that the columnade side is smaller and thinner than columnar basalt, but both of them has hexagonal shape with minor pentagonal and heptagonal shape. The shape here refers to the how many side the columnar form. Okay, so I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurfara Ertina. I will present the stratigraphy of the peninsula Semporna. The Kalumpang Formation is made up of limestone lenses. The term formation characterizes extensive series of folded and faulted marine sediment and interbedded pyroclastic strata in the Semporna Peninsula area. Interbedded thick sandstone and shale mudstone and lens of fossiliferous limestone and tufaceous layer and agglomerate characterize this species. Its main outcrop is typically sharply folded and heavily faulted. The formation is overlain and extruded by a sequence of Pleistocene stratovolcano, and the formation base is not visible. However, an outcrop near Marotai Besar reveals that the Kalabakang Formation, a dark argillaceous series, rests uncomfortably beneath the Kalumpang Formation clastic facies. Table 1 summarizes the stratigraphy of the area. Mount Rock, which may be found in the primary mountainous area of Tawau and in the West Semporna district. The main site eruption throughout the early Pleistocene were from Mount Maria, which formed a dacitic cone on top of the older eroded andesite. In the main volcanic sites, such as Mount Andrasi, Glass Hill, Mount Lucia, and Kinabutan Besar Hill, there are several steep-sided volcanic cones of silicified rock. They create high ridge due to their hard and resistant nature, and they most likely form around volcanic vents, which would have acted as rock for late-stage silica-rich volcanic rock. The most recent lava flow, olivine basalt, encompasses roughly 14% of the peninsula. At Tiger Hill, Bombalai Hill, and Queen Hill, remnant olivine basalt lava erupted during the late Pleistocene epoch, forming three northwest-southeast aligned cones. As part of the peninsular volcanic activity, olivine basalt lava erupted from multiple volcanic cones in the Quaternary. The Church-Spillage Formation, which dates from the early Cretaceous, is the oldest rock formation on the Semporna Peninsula. It is part of the region's shattered oceanic crust. The emplacement of the basement in the northern half of Borneo is dated to the early Cretaceous based on outcrops of Albian and Cenomanian oceanic crust materials broken together with older Mesozoic components. The occurrence of metamorphic rocks of similar age in the Meratus Mountain in the southeast Kalimantan and Sulawesi suggests that the Borneo basement complex is detached portions of large flat Mesozoic accretionary complex. Volcanic breccia and lava in the form of pillar lava or massive flow make up the Chert Basaltic Association outcrops in Sabah. These minerals are interbedded with little sandstone and shale and overlain by chalk, sphalectic basalt that have been minimally metamorphosed characterize the lava. Early Cretaceous investment age of the putative Ophiolitic soot in this part of Borneo was determined by gallium argentum dating on pillar lava of the rock formation. These intrusive bodies were found in Lower Cretaceous formation with alkaline volcanic, implying that they were formed by late Mesozoic subduction. Gallium argentum dating of volcanic rock and foraminifera in marine sediment interbedded with the volcanic clastic of the Semporna Peninsula. The Kalumpang Formation, on the other hand, suggests a Middle Miocene age. The Tertiary sandstone is interbedded with tuff sandstone, claystone, volcanic conglomerate, and breccia limestoneaceous in the lowest part of the Kalumpang Formation. The clastic basis of the Kalumpang Formation was most likely developed in a shelf environment, as shown by the several sedimentary characteristics, and could be part of the Miocene basin of the then Semporna Peninsula area, which according to the rock sequence. In the early Middle Miocene, these rocks were deposited in shallow to neritic marine setting. Throughout the late Neogene and Quaternary, volcanic activity followed this structure. Volcanic activity during the Paleocene period produced primarily andesitic lava, followed by desitic and pyroclastic lava. For the rock unit, this Middle Miocene volcanism in Sabah is a major facies that includes the Segama group in the Dan Peninsula as well as the Silabukan Formation and the Kalumpang Formation in the Semporna Peninsula. It can be found interbedded with epiclastic facies in the central, northern, and eastern parts of Sabah. The rock unit can be divided into three types. First, volcanic breccia unit, which is massive two-bedded, poorly salted volcanic breccia and boulder agglomerate with modest conglomerate, tufaceous sandstone, and mudstone interbeds make up the volcanic breccia unit. This boulder and pebble conglomerate and agglomeration is mostly made up of water-worn aggregates of andesitic rock, width and diameter up to 1 meter, ultramafic rock, alveolite, and other rock types, limestone with coral debris, and red clay tufaceous sandy matrix, and elsewhere in a phyllitic matrix with plant remains and mollusca. Medium grain to lenticular beds are prevalent. The volcanic breccia unit, coarse grained volcanic rocks, occur as a large or heavily bedded sequence throughout the Dan Peninsula, Bagahak Range, and the backbone of the Semporna Peninsula. Second, tuff and tufaceous unit. The tuff and tuffite unit in Semporna Peninsula is made up of massive to well-bedded tuff and tufaceous sequence that outcrop along the Libang River, Meruap River, and Meral River on the Dan Peninsula. Tuff is frequently found with small volcanic breccia, tufaceous sandstone, and small conglomerate interbedded with tuff. In the Dan Peninsula, this unit can also be found in the upper valley of Tungku, the Timbak River, the Membatu River, and Bakapit Point. Semporna Peninsula has random distribution of outcrops. Lastly, epiclastic unit. Tufaceous conglomerate, tufaceous and carbonaceous sandstone, pebbly sandstone, calcareous sandstone, tuff and clay rich in fauna. remnants make up the epiclastic block. The unit is distinguished from the volcanic breccia and tuff units by its thick and thin epiclastic and thin bedded. This unit is found in the Dan and Semporna Peninsula at random. Uh, this unit as part of the Tunku Formation in the Dan Peninsula and the Kalumpang Formation in the Semporna Peninsula. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nurizani Elisa, and today I will present about the lithology of Semporna Peninsula. First, we should know that the peninsula Semporna was formed by volcanic rocks of andesite-dacite basalt combination, and Semporna volcanism persisted into Quaternary, where accumulation of dacitic and dacitic lava flows produced stratovolcanoes. And during Pleistocene, intense eruptions of dacite and andesites occurred to form the cap of Mount Maria's volcanic cones, and olivine basalt lavas extruded from tiny cones during most recent eruptions. Early volcanic rocks of andesitic and dacitic compositions form a line of composite volcanoes such as Mount Magdalena to Mount Ullerstorff and Mount Pop. Earliest rocks of Mount Magdalena is hypostine andesite lavas and pyroclastic rocks of Kalumpang Formation. Now we'll talk about the volcanic rocks of Semporna Peninsula. For basalt andesite, they have phenocrysts of plagioclase and clinopyroxene that are enclosed by fine-grained plagioclase and clinopyroxene with minor oxidized iron granules. For andesite, it is fine-grained and porphyritic in texture, and it has phenocryst assemblages of plagioclase, clinopyroxene, hornblende, and biotite. For dicite and rhyolite, they basically share the same textural characteristics, but rhyolite has more cavities that is filled with secondary minerals such as chalcedony. There's also zoning of plagioclase in dacite and rhyolite. The groundmass texture is mostly glassy and associated with minor iron oxide, quartz, plagioclase, and alkali feldspar. Okay, this is a photomicrograph of the volcanic rocks. A shows subhedral plagioclase and altered clinopyroxene with cryptocrystalline groundmass in basaltic andesite, while B shows zoned plagioclase and subhedral hornblende andesite and weak alignment that is shown by smaller plagioclase. The picture C shows zone and polysynthetic twinning plagioclase as phenocryst in dacite. And lastly, figure D shows amygdaloidal texture that is composed of quartz, chalcedony, and plagioclase phenocryst enclosed by glass groundmass in rhyolite. Next, I will talk about the geological resources of Semporna Peninsula. Okay, first I will talk about the resources that are found but not extracted. Okay, I found these resources based on the annual report of Department of Mineral and Geoscience Malaysia, JMG, and it was from the report from the year 2015. Okay, so they found coal in Mount Louis Tawau. The coal was high volatile AC bituminous and was found in 26 coal outcrops with a thickness in the range of 0.15 meters to 1.04 meters. And they found gold in Malati River, Upper Kalumpang Kunak. With polarization of geophysical survey, it detected that the presence of sulfide minerals shows the sign of gold mineralization. Finally, the resource that I found and has existed until today is the gold mine in Balong Tawau. So this gold mine has a land area of 2,338 acres, and the head director of Department of Mineral and Geoscience Malaysia, JMG, states that the production from September 2018 until March 2019 shows that the production of gold had reached around 230,000 grams of gold, which is about 40 million ringgit Malaysia. This gold mine makes Sabah become one of the states of Malaysia that can produce gold.
Okay, now I will talk about the conclusion for our topic. For our conclusion, we have a few structural geology that we can find in Semporna Peninsula, which is columnar basalt and also columnar andesite. And then for the formation in Peninsula Semporna is Kalumpang Formation that made up of limestone lenses. And then the most recent lava flows is Olivan basalt, encompass roughly 40% of the peninsula. And then for our geological resources, gold mine and geothermal power plant is found in Tawau. However, for the geothermal power plant, it's become abandoned after a few years. And then in Semporna, there's no many resources available. However, they're more to the economic activities, which is fisheries and also tourism. I think that's all from our group. Thank you very much.